Vintage 61 Storehouse, and we are joining you live from Vintage 61 Storehouse, and we are going to tell you all about our English cottage and what we've kind of done in this space. I know you can see a little bit of it. My part on this video, I'm gonna go kind of back to the basics and tell you all about milk paint and let you in on some of the colors. So that's what I'm going to teach you on this video. I've had a lot of customers come through when I was painting the table for the live, and just tons of questions, basic questions about what it is and how we use it. So I felt like I would kind of rewind and kind of go through that on our live. So we are in the midst of getting ready for our Christmas open house, and when we do that, we literally rip our store apart and put it back together. So this is the first room that we're going to have completed for our holiday open house here, which is November 6th and 7th. And we used, of course, Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint on all of the pieces in here, and it turned out very delightful. I can't wait till you can see the whole room. All right, Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint comes in a pouch, which I don't have here. And it's in powder form. So we always dump ours into a jar, just makes it a little easier. But it comes in powder form and we mix it with water. So super simple. People kind of get a little scared when we talk about mixing, and I don't know, they just want something that's already done for them. But one of the great things about milk paint is it's such a hard finish. And another problem thing that we have all the time is, I don't know about you, but I hate to paint chairs. But with the milk paint, it is a lot easier to like get in, the grooves and do the spindles. And so there's so many great things about milk paint, and we definitely should not be afraid to use it. That was a couple different customers that had commented about just seeing that I was mixing it while I was using it, and that I had to mix it to begin with. So that was like, I don't know, freaking people out. But it is not in any way, shape, or form. This is Miss Kathy. She's delivering me milk paint. So it comes in these little pouches, and your color's always on here. We are doing some repackaging and stuff, but this is what it looks like. Comes in this little bag. When you go to your local retailer, and then the tag has the color on here. Is there anybody watching us?
Yeah, there's a bunch of folks on there. Yep.
Huh?
Yes.
Good. Hi, Chris. So that's what it looks like when it comes in here. Kathy, I'm going to need a bonding agent if you can grab that for me. And
It's right there.
a hemp oil. Oh, hemp oil's here. Bonding agent. Lori's Lori set me up, so that's excellent. All right, so colors. So spans, tons of colors for you to choose from. Our live today, we used boxwood, which is on this really pretty china cabinet here. It's awesome, amazing. It's obviously it's a good Christmas color, but it's a good all-around color, right, Miss Kathy? You can put this in any decor.
Year round.
Year round. We don't.
And the really important thing to note,
she's gonna come on camera.
Mm-hmm.
the important thing to note about green is when you have big open windows, it connects the outside to the inside. So your outside just fills your space. So greens are great to decorate with.
Greens are good. The other color that we used is Schloss, but I don't have that as a block. But it's it's on the table. Miss Lori will show it to you when she switches.
It's my new favorite color.
I don't know. Yeah, it's her new favorite color. She keeps asking, have we used it before? Yes, we have, Miss Kathy, but she swears we have not. It's like a grayish brown.
Gray.
I don't know. It's. I feel like it's definitely going to be one of those chameleon colors when you put it in.
Say the name again.
Schloss, but I feel like it's not right. So I feel like somebody was corrected on pronouncing it that way. But anyway, so go ahead and correct if somebody knows. Mustard seed yellow, we use this all the time. It is definitely one of our favorites. When you're seeing these blocks, I don't know how they show up on camera, but when we have different finishes. So this is a white wax, this is the color with nothing, with just a clear wax, and then this is a dark wax. So it gives our customers a good idea of what things look like with different finishes. But yellow, use all the time. This is Layla's Mint, so this is definitely, watch out, let me wreck the decor a minute here. Lighter green than boxwood. We don't paint a ton in Layla's Mint, but it's such a good color. We really should. So note to self. We have a ton of stuff obviously painted in this, getting ready for Christmas. This is Tricycle.
The best Christmas color.
It is. It's such a good red. Like, it's not super fire engine. It's like a tone off of that. So it is a really great red. So if you have not painted in Tricycle, and Miss Kathy, red, we can use that in our home decor. I feel like a lot of people,
Absolutely.
That's like a scary color for people.
And used to be a very, very popular color for kitchens. And so you'll see a lot of appliances done in red too.
So don't be afraid of, the red. Artissimo is it's navy blue, is what, I'm sure it almost looks black on there.
No, the colors are coming up really
is it
nice,
okay?
actually. Yeah.
So, great color. We use this all the time. Navy blue, Kathy. Mid-century modern, we've used it a couple times in that. It works out really good.
Of course, all our 4th of July and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We obviously we use these, we theme our colors.
We did a beautiful display all for a nautical. Remember
We did, that was really pretty when we used that.
That would be great for a boys' room.
Like that. Now, we all know we've done a whole section on the whites and that they all go together, and you may use them, put them together. So in whites, we have Grain Sack, Farmhouse, Linen, and Ironstone. They are all these gorgeous whites, and they all pair together. So at any time, I feel like these are all, Farmhouse white I always feel like is the brightest. Ironstone. Linen kind of has a yellow tint to it. And then Grain Sack kind of has that taupey gray that goes with that. All of these colors, you can always shop with us. You're more than welcome. We will ship it to you. But your local retailers should have these guys all on hand. French enamel and kitchen scale, Eulalie Sky, and this guy, Flow Blue, are all of the blue, greens, and Luckets is here, yeah, that we have in the collection. We use all of these all the time. Minus maybe Flow Blue and French enamel. I feel like we should do a whole segment on that. Those are really good colors.
Yeah, and
Blues.
Flow Blue pottery with Flow Blue paint. Oh.
I'm just saying maybe that we can work that into a live somewhere. Luckets is probably my favorite, and Eulalie Sky out of the ones in this stuff, but they're awesome. It's so funny. Some of the European collection is in here, and some of it is not. Typewriter is the black, and it's a true black. It's a great black. People always ask us that, that does it throw off like blue or whatever, but it does not. It's a true black. Curio is our brown. You can use this as brown, obviously, or you can use it as a stain, water it down. So that is awesome for that. And we are left with Arabesque, Shutter Gray. Shutter Gray, even though it says gray, I feel like it throws blue. So another one of those colors, depending what you're looking at. And Arabesque is our pink. It's a dusty, it's like the perfect pink. If I had to put a pink in my house, this is it. So there we go. Those are the colors. And the colors that we used in here, we pretty much just boxwooded the whole entire place. So anyway, I'm going to tell you how to go about mixing your milk paint. So you're going to start out with this bag, and you're going to use any type of measure. A tablespoon, a teaspoon, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to put equal parts of powder to equal parts of water. And not scary. Anybody can do it. I swear I could. My daughter, who is in this room, I could have her come over here and she could totally mix this up. It's easy, I promise. When we are doing milk paint, we have to decide, do we want it to be chippy, or do we want it to be a nice clean finish like this china cabinet? It's obviously not chippy, so you have to make that decision before you're mixing your milk paint. If you do not add a bonding agent to it, you run the risk of it chipping and flaking, which I love, but it doesn't always coincide with the piece that you're painting. So you kind of gotta, make that decision before you start. So I am going to paint this chair. So we added bonding agent to the pieces that we were doing because we wanted to be able to distress it kind of how we wanted it. Because as you'll see later in the video, some of them are very heavily distressed, so we didn't want to have to worry about the chipping in between what we were trying to accomplish. So in this bowl, I put 3 scoops of the milk paint in here. It's milk based, so once you mix it, that's pretty much it. It will spoil. And then 3 scoops of water. Now, I always mix mine up at this point. And then, like I said, I'm going to add bonding agent too. So super simple. Now you can see kind of when you're, like maybe Miss Lori can get a close up. When you're mixing, you're gonna see all these kind of colors run through. There's blue running through here, there's yellow on the side. So you really gotta get in there and mix everything together. So your pigments kind of, sit in the bottom and you wanna mix them up really good. If you guys have any questions while we're kind of going along, you are more than welcome to ask them. I normally would let this sit after I get everything mixed. I'll let it sit for like 15 minutes and then come back and mix it, and that seems to have the best. And I always use another, okay, now we're adding bonding agent. So when we do this, remember I added 3 scoops of powder to 3 scoops of water. So whatever that added together is what we put in bonding agent. So that would be 6, if I've done my math correctly. I don't know, Jules, what do you think? I literally breezed in here today. My daughter, she was, I don't know what she was doing. She was taking forever at school. So I have 3 kids. One's big and has a job, but my other 2 are 14 and 11, and I have to pick them up from school every day. And my youngest, she didn't know we had it live, but it was taking her forever. I'm sitting in the car like, oh my gosh, could she be any slower? And she gets in and I'm like, Jules, we have a live. She's like, okay. So it kind of changes the color, and I feel like people think, oh gosh, did I screw it up, mess it up? No, it will change the color a little bit, but once you put it on your piece and it dries, it's the same color as if you didn't add any bonding agent to it. So just so you're prepared.
Yeah, it's always a little scary when you first see the color.
Because especially when you add it to black, it all of a sudden it looks blue, and you're like, wow.
Or a tricycle looks pink.
Yeah, pink tricycle. So it will change the color a little bit, but I promise when it dries to be what it should. So no big deal. Don't get freaked out. You did the right thing. So what's everybody doing today? Anybody doing anything exciting? Just hanging out with me? Nobody's got any comments? What's going on over there?
Lots of hearts.
Lots of hearts?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Do you not have the comments on your phone?
No, they're on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always say there's a million after I get done, but I feel like the people are watching.
You feel like you don't see them?
Well, yeah, like Chris is saying, thank you, Laura. You always bring it. Great tips, ladies. So,
like I said,
lots
of mixing. And one of the big things, so when I'm out and painting on the floor where I'm interacting with a lot of customers, and everybody's always curious. So even if you're watching this and you're a retailer, that's such a huge thing to get people interested in painting. Painting out on your floor with them and, kind of interacting with them in that way makes a huge difference. It definitely makes a huge difference here with us because they're always curious what you're doing, what color you're painting in. So I definitely feel like if you have a store or you're, just starting out, that is definitely a big plus with what we do here. We do have little ladies that paint in the back. So that's another thing. Shout out to Kira. She is the one that has been tirelessly helping us put this room together, and she painted most everything in this room. So she is amazing. And when I say it's easy to use, she's in high school. She is homeschooled, but she comes in here and works with us, and she started out knowing absolutely nothing about milk paint or painting anything in general. And she came in here first day, knocked it out of the park. So it is really that easy. So don't be afraid. And at the end of the day, it's just paint. You can paint over it, you can sand it off. So worst case scenario, if you absolutely hate it, you can fix it. All right, so it's mixed up. And then when I paint a chair, I always flip. Kathy is going to fly through the camera. I always flip it over onto the bottom and start with that. So I don't know if Miss Lori has enough room.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. And then what you want to do when you're painting, I'm going to really get down low and personal with this chair.
How low can you go?
All the way. So I always mix while I'm painting. All of your pigments will settle down to the bottom, so you want to make sure that you're always mixing, because if you don't, you will have all that at the bottom, and when you get down to the bottom, you're going to be running all kinds of really pretty colors through your piece, but it is not going to match. So I'm always kind of digging down in there to get all of those,
All the things.
off the bottom. I don't know why, I always, on a chair, flip it over and do the bottom first, but I don't know, it's just the way I do it. But goes on, super good coverage, but when you're doing a chair, having this consistency that is not super thick makes it really easy to go across the piece and get really good coverage and also get into like all the nooks and crannies. Now, you guys know, or maybe not, milk paint dries super fast. So if we had to put a time on finishing everything in this room and the three of us were doing it, we could get it done in 2 days. So you're talking a table, 2 chairs, a desk, and a huge hutch. So the time from start to finish on a project is really easy, fast. And then you're going to be on camera in a minute. Are you ready for that? What we did with these chairs, we painted them all and got them to where we were happy with them coverage-wise, but then we heavily distressed them. So Miss Lori's gonna flip around and show you the finished product on the chair that is behind her. So completely done in boxwood, and then we distressed the bejeezers out of it, because that's what Miss Kathy said we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So a chair, I don't know, doesn't take that long. Maybe if I sat and worked on it from start to finish, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But that would be, I could get, probably 2 chairs done in that time, because you're just kind of starting on one chair and then continuing on. And by the time you're done with that second chair, you can go back to the first chair. So what we did on those chairs, the finish, you always have to put a finish on milk paint. That makes a cure. So we are tried and true. We always do, at least that's what we seem to always do. I mean, we do top coat on things, but on these chairs we did hemp oil, and they turned out amazing. But the painting part, super easy. So if I sat here and diligently worked on this chair, it would be done super quick. I think that's start to finish how we mix milk paint, how we go about, and like I said, I feel like it's really great for all kinds of things. I mean, you can milk paint glass, metal, your wood things, anything across the board. But chairs are always one of those things that people are like, I don't really want to do it. But milk paint really does make it easy with the consistency that you're dealing with. So I would definitely recommend. It's a good deal. So another part of what we do here at the store, I'm gonna get up off the ground. I feel like I'm like 100. Is pick these awesome styles, and then we make this whole thing happen. When we came in this room was completely blank slate. Nothing was done on the walls. It was, yeah, even like the other things were like painted different colors. So when we came in here, it was, none of this wallpaper and the chair rail, and so none of those things were in here. So when we go about these things, Miss Kathy really makes us like absolutely transform a space into definitely what this is here today. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathy, and she's going to tell us all about this English cottage and what she did to accomplish that, and a little decor tip on how to bring this style into your house. So she's going to start us out over here, and I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. Miss Kathy, take it away.
Okay. There is a return to a style that we were really comfortable with a couple decades ago, and it was a cottage style, an English cottage as we did in here. It's called cottage core, and what cottage core is it's that flavor of what is homemade, what is earthy, what is comfortable. So think Laura Ashley, April Cornell, think mixed fabrics, mixed colors. And we did it. We went and we mixed it all up. So let me walk you around little elements that would be called cottage core. We start with the big hutch. And in any British home, you're going to have a big accessible hutch with open shelves. And you're going to have tartans, mixed tartans, which people are like, what? Do it. And what I heard was, as long as you have all the pieces in furniture in their place, go ahead and mix up the fabrics. So can you give a little pan around? We'll see what we've got going on here. We have our fireplace. And we're all decked out for Christmas. Why? Because our Christmas open house is coming up, and that needs to have a starting place. We chose this little room because we could block it off and hide it from everyone. But we have our tablescape with some mixed tartans. You'll see some mixed tartans over there as well. And our wallpaper. Is this not dynamite? Lori, I love you. Thank you for hanging this. We give her a project and she goes, yep, okay. And she just goes and does it. So I'm very, very blessed to have somebody that brings my visions together. And just take a look at some of these things that you recognize as cottagey. The stained glass with the leaded cross design, the heavy wool wraps, the little muck boots to go outside. Bone china is an element of an English cottage. Let's see what else we got here. Pewter and brass and wool. I have 2 blankets out there. Would you mind handing them to me? Sure. I've got one here. That's a plaid, that's wool. And then when you're looking for, that's the other thing about cottage core. It's about quality. So I have a couple of, these are called Hudson Bay blankets. And they're very historic, very known, and made in England. But it's all the wonderful lamb's wool that you could pour some water on and it would repel right off. And that's the whole thing about buying quality and letting it last for forever. So these are 2 of my prized possessions. And let's see. What did I want to point out? Let me say a non-Christmas thing. Would you hand me that basket there?
We're going into the hallway that is full of all of this nonsense.
The crap hallway. All right, so any good British cottage would either have a cutting garden or it would have be in a place where you could clip things together. So if it wasn't Christmas time, what do we mean by cottage style? This is one thing that is very popular, are botanicals. So this here is a flower press. You would take this out on your journey or bring it back home. You would put your blotting paper in and you would squeeze out all the moisture. In time, that these little cuttings would turn into botanicals. So cottage style, here you go. These are botanicals. So you can see even where the little tape is holding them in place. So those are not going on the wall because they're mine. But let's get back to Christmas. When you think Christmas, so much of it, I'm going to ask it. Thanks.
It's enough of this.
So much of it is, in our mind, is English because of Charles Dickens. And until A Christmas Carol, not everyone celebrated Christmas. But he put a slant on it because it was identified as non-Christian in some corners of the world. It was considered pagan in some corners of the world. But when Charles Dickens married that whole idea together in A Christmas Carol, everyone married to that idea of Christmas. So we did the English Christmas cottage. Any features that stand out to you? That
Christmas-wise or
Yeah.
just in general?
Well, just, in designing this space, what were you anticipating and what did you find was the most exciting?
The wallpaper.
The wallpaper. It all comes
So
down
now
to the
tell everybody,
wallpaper.
wallpaper is making a comeback in
Big
a
comeback. And the whole
big way.
cottage is also about mixed florals. Now, I was going to bring in some old April Cornell tablecloths I had, but I forgot those. And you could have seen florals on florals, but you'll see the tartans, how they mix in. And
That
figure.
you can pick up at, so we're separated and Lori hates when we do
Laura
that.
hates
So
it.
we're going to have to get ourselves together here.
Mhm.
Some of the other elements, okay, so can I just for like a minute say where?
Mhm.
I'm telling you. So in true Kathy style, she has this stuff available. We will be doing anything, and it could literally run the gamut of anything. We could be like sailing a ship.
Don't tell me about my car.
And she will say,
It's- hold
I
on.
have something in my van. Like it's like a clown car of things. There is
Is it?
always
Yeah.
something in
I shopped
Kathy's.
I picked that up this morning. I drove an hour and a half, but I picked it up this morning.
We're putting this room together, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, I have that in my van." And we go out there, and there's this like gorgeous piece of stained glass. So Miss Kathy, all the time.
Yeah,
with
that's my thing.
pulling things,
Oh, sit.
pulling things.
Tell me about your day.
Tell me about your day with my
Your
adorable little
future.
apron.
What you should tell them about is our wine.
So a lot of things happen here. So we're gonna get a little all about vintage 61 for like a hot second. Lori, if you would see what Lori looks like, she is literally in a
Behind
corner,
the Christmas tree.
pressed up against the wall
It would
to
look
try
really
and
good
get
if you
us.
could
Oh,
get
it's
further
so
back and
pretty.
get branch in the foreground.
Yeah, I mean,
I
come
could
on,
maybe
come on.
I could try.
Oh,
I could
look
try.
at the. So some
No,
things
it's
that
not
happen here with us at Vintage 61. We have a winery that's now here with us. We even have our own bottle of wine, which is a rosé that you can get here. So that's something that's here all the time. You can come in, do a tasting. You can get wine slushies, which we're a huge fan of. So that is something that is pretty new to us. But if you watch our videos all the time, you already know that. So as you know, when you go across the ocean, wine, huge deal over there. Along with ciders. We also have tea here at the store, and there's an English tea advent calendar over there on the hutch. Miss Lori will pan around then. So that's something that's always available here. They do tea and spices and olive oils and all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
But I thought these were charming. They are Advent tea calendars. So you
So-
have a different tea each
Oh,
day
that's cute.
leading up to Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So is that like a 20 to 25
Yeah.
advent? That's very cute. So a different tea. So if you're a tea connoisseur or you like, that's a very cute
Yeah,
gift.
I thought it was precious.
I, on the other hand, like the chocolate ones, where you just open the door and grab a chocolate.
Oh, that was my childhood.
Right?
Oh,
My
yeah.
kids still, to this day, I have to go before December 1st and get them a chocolate advent calendar. Even my 21-year-old son also. If I would not get one, he would be highly offended.
I heard about one that I was going to get for my adult children. And I think, what is that grocery store? It's Aldi's?
Okay.
I heard they have one with little liquor bottles in them.
Oh, well, that sounds delightful. I just saw one that is whiskey.
Oh, there you
Whiskey
go.
advent calendar. So,
Well, yeah.
gift ideas, folks. Another thing that we do here is our bakery. So you can drink wine, you can pick up some tea, and our bakery does baked goods. So it's the Rustic Confectionery. You can find her on Facebook, and she makes delightful things: cookies, biscotti, macarons, cakes, cupcakes.
Cupcakes. People are coming in all the time and doing birthday orders.
Yeah.
And holiday pies, and she's very gifted.
If you're close by, she has on her Facebook page, she has all her stuff where you can order all your holiday pies. So that, check.
And look at how beautiful these are. They're
really
done
cute.
in a buttercream. It's just sensational. But this is typically very British, to have a little cookie or something in the middle of the day with tea. And then we have some scents that come in here. We could carry all the Park Hill collection of candles, and I chose this one. I was going to be burning it, but I forgot to light it. This one is cloved orange, and I was going to, but I ran out of time. I was going to dehydrate a bunch of oranges and have them strung up with some
I don't know where her time goes.
cinnamon. I just didn't get there.
So weird. Could
Sorry.
be driving for stained glass.
I did that instead.
Yeah.
I did say to Richard last night, I said, how long does it take to dehydrate oranges? And he goes, oh, they're very moist. It'll be a few days. I'm like, I can't get them done
Darn
tomorrow.
it. Darn it. So I feel like all in all, the room turned out amazing. I'm super excited. And I feel like every time we do a live for Miss Mustard Seed, there's always a color or a color palette to fit in whatever it is that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously this
Point
one
at
is
this
bigger.
table. You
So,
can see past
did
my
anybody
botanicals.
say, how do you pronounce?
No, nobody said.
Well,
No.
they're not very helpful. So this
But
is
this
the
is a
table.
trellis table, or
And
what you might know as a library table.
it is amazing. So I say Schloss, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced or not. We should have like some kind of tutorial, I think, on that. So that was the only other color that we used in here. Yeah, the rest.
We needed to break it up just
The
a
rest
little
was-
bit. We wanted
was
to keep
boxwood.
enough wood grain to kind of go with the time period feel of the English cottage, and then the painted pieces just brought it all together.
Yeah, the hutch is amazing. Kathy always picks these monstrosities that weigh a ton.
No, I love it. It's worth every minute.
Yeah, so, well, it's
That
worth
I
every
didn't
minute because
think.
she doesn't have to carry it down here. So
No,
Lori
I
and I get that
carry
really
it.
awesome drop. So back to what everybody is going to come here for now that you saw this video. Miss Kathy is going to actually transform this room into a merchandise English cottage, which we will share tons of sneak peeks of that. But our holiday open house is November 6th and 7th. It runs 9 to 4. We'll have vendors outside. We will have wine tasting, and the slushies will be here. There's music on Sunday. There's food trucks. So it's a great day to come and visit us. And our Christmas closet, not closet, it's pretty much like I don't even know, a warehouse kind of.
Yeah, it's a warehouse.
Floor to ceiling Christmas is going to come out. I mean, the Christmas that's spread around in here is like nothing. Like, doesn't
Yeah,
even.
there we've got a barn.
Yeah, full of all of that stuff. So we're all super excited to get started. We were really excited to be able to do this room with you guys today. Because
And we're going to be live again too on the 5th, right?
we are November 5th. I I talked to Chris, and she talked us into doing a sneak peek, which is only going to be on Miss Mustard Seed's page. So if you want to get a sneak peek of how we've transformed everything in the whole entire shop, because our store is 20,000 square feet. So I don't know if that translates, but it's a ton of space. We have over 30 vendors in here, plus ourselves, which we have half of the store. So there is a ton of space in here for you guys to come and shop. And the Christmas is the first time it shows up. So everybody redoes their space.
So today, Miss Mustard Seed's audience, you're the first to see it.
Yeah.
And this is our first completed space. We're very excited about it.
I am super excited. So we are going to do that sneak peek. You guys will be the first to see it. You guys are the first to see what this room looks like. And then, so you didn't even talk really about this desk. And it's probably
so
like my favorite, I don't know. I like all the pieces, but I do love this.
Roll it down.
This roll top desk, it is delightful. When I came back and I had seen that Kira had finished it, I was like, oh my god, it's so adorable. And this slides out, and then this actually lifts up to, like, what would you do on there? Like, it's like an easel, like almost, I don't know. Why would you do that?
Writing.
Writing?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's delightful. It has all the little compartments and to organize. It's super charming.
It is. And that has a lot to do with when you're picking a piece to do some parts natural and some parts painted. That's a good example of when not to.
So do you want to know why we really picked the parts that are painted?
When not to paint a section, yes.
Miss Kathy, of course, wanted us to paint the whole entire thing, and Miss Lori and I said, do you know what happens when you paint a roll top desk? This part of it, it will all of a sudden stop working. So we told her that we were not doing that. So we decided not to paint that, and then it just kind of made sense to leave the drawers natural too.
I think it's exquisite. Great.
It turned out. I feel like a lot of times when we're going through things and it's the three of us like kind of putting our minds together, it kind of all these happy accidents happen, you know, and it just kind of blends together. Something else I wanted to mention for everybody that's out there Christmas shopping and we're getting into that season. Lori had mentioned to me earlier today that everything is so hard to find and so expensive.
It really is.
It's crazy. I mean, we see that on our end, like when we buy new merchandise, the shipping and things like that, prices have definitely gone up that way. But I always think, I'm always curious why people go out and buy new furniture when it's so expensive.
It's so expensive. Do you know what a chair costs?
Yeah,
A
crazy.
chair.
These chairs that I'm sitting on were $10.
Yeah,
$10 up
solid
in the
wood.
Yeah.
And if you notice how we distressed it, it's to give you that aged, lived-in feel. I talked earlier about quality materials and how in the British mindset, you know, you have a lot of rain, a lot of weather to contend with. Everything is made from a quality material, and it's to last. And so if you're trying to gain that look, you do the little weathered spots of how the chair's been used and how hand oils have grabbed onto it or little butts have sat in it. So that gives you that texture and that layer. And if you're thinking, she's crazy, this cottage look is not happening. Cover of Architectural Digest, Kirsten Dunst's house, and she's wearing practically, you know, that gunny sack look on her. Some of those Target dresses are actually popular.
I'm not wearing them. I will not do it.
But yeah. it is that prairie look is in, the little white eyelet lace around stuff. That's too far for me, but I'm just...
But, I mean, you can incorporate even just, we always say, like, pieces and taking the pieces that you already have. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. When you buy a new house and you're going to furnish it, when you have something and you want to redo your space, go to the places like ours and find these pieces and look what you already have and come to places like ours, and we always will gladly walk you through. When you're like, oh my gosh, I saw your live and I'm just so nervous to do it, I will walk you through from beginning to end, refinishing and painting a piece of furniture. So don't ever be afraid on that end. And it's going to cost you so much less. If you had to go buy this hutch in some whatever brand name furniture store.
I'm going to confess right now.
What?
My china cabinet, Crate and Barrel, bought in about 2002, $2,600.
Insane.
Yes.
And now this piece that we painted, when we price it, will be somewhere between $600 to $800.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking less than half.
Oh, much, yeah.
And so much more character. We changed out, which is kind of funny because the hardware doesn't actually, like if we pulled back the hardware that was actually on that piece, we did like kind of French provincial hardware with kind of country knobs.
That works.
Miss Kathy says it's actually
works.
delightful.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is go to places like this and find those things. I had a lady that bought a set of nesting tables that her best friend had seen, and she's like, I bought them for her for Christmas.
Oh.
I would so much rather
I
get
want a friend
something
like that. Would you be that kind of friend
I'll be
for
that
me?
friend
Okay,
for you.
thank you.
Absolutely. It's
You're a
good.
good
It's
gift
not
giver.
really
Yeah.
really great because Kathy and I like the same thing, so I really have a hard time giving them up. I'd be like, all right, fine, here's your Christmas
If you
gift.
don't like it, I can.
Oh. So anyway, go to the places like ours and picking up a Christmas gift like that, some charming, table that they loved when they were in a store, and
Mm-hmm.
picking up things like that last forever instead of, I don't know, some of those goofy things you get for Christmas and you think, oh, man.
What drawer did you have that hidden in that you just wrapped up for me?
Right.
How many things can you get from Bed Bath & Beyond? Or
Right.
not Bed Bath & Beyond, Bath & Body Works.
Yeah,
That is the Christmas hangout,
I
isn't
don't know. I'd much rather have something that said, like, Kathy had given me a jadeite bowl filled with candy. And I still have that and love it.
Yeah,
So,
I got this
stuff
really
like that.
unusual one. It had a scalloped edge, and I said, oh, this is so perfect for her. And I filled it with chocolate kisses, and she comes back and she says, great, now my children think chocolate kisses have to
Belong
be
in
in this all
there.
the
That
time.
live in there.
Yeah.
They do not. But yeah, so for like, oh my gosh, that was like 6, 7, 8 months that my kids thought that that's where the candy lived.
Mhm.
So anyway, but that's what I'm saying. Go to places like this and get these unique gifts that nobody else is going to.
And when you come here, we're happy to help. So often, someone will come in and say, I need a centerpiece, and I'm liking this, and I'm liking this, but do they go together? And I'll sit with them, and I'll put that piece together, and I'll ask them, what do you have that you want to include that's, precious to you, or, are we starting from blank? And we'll talk scale and composition and color. And, any shop that, really loves what they do will do that with you.
Absolutely. We spend a lot of time with our customers. So come to our holiday open house. It's November 6th and 7th from 9 to 4. It is worth the trip. People come 3-4 hours to come to our shop. We will give you, there'll be food trucks here, but we can give you a place to stay. Not personally, I'm not going to house you, but I can tell you where to book. So it's definitely worth it. We can give you restaurants. There's a lot of cute other places and things to do around here. We're not too far from the Yingling Brewery. We're right by Hawk Mountain. Hope Hill Lavender Farm is close. So there are definitely some other really charming places around here for you to come and make a weekend of it with us. So we're more than happy if you send us a message to kind of help you out with coming for a visit. And Holiday Open House is definitely the perfect time to do that. I want to thank Miss Mustard Seed that always lets us come on her page and crash it for always an extended period of time because we can't shut up. And we love the paint that we use, and I can't tell you enough how easy it is and how you should try it in your own home. And if you're close to us or want to make the trip, we will gladly walk you through all the products and colors and what you need to do to make that first project successful. So I hope to see you here for Holiday Open House. Tune in November 5th on Miss Mustard Seed's page so you can get a sneak peek of everything that we're doing. Because as much as we transform this room from scratch, we will do that to every single part of our store. So that means new furniture, tons of Christmas and home decor and giftables. So don't miss that live. And I am so happy that you had us here with you. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask Chris. She will answer them. Bye.
Bye. Happy Halloween.